Hello, family and friends. I know some of you asked me exactly how I edit some photos. So this is just a really quick dive into something, just really fast. It's not going to take that long. And honestly, there's a lot more going on than what I'm going to show you just because I don't want to put you guys asleep. So right off the bat, this is the photo right here of a water lily I took at the Shiawassee Nature Reserve Wildlife Shiawassee Refuge, we'll just call it. So this is what it looks straight out of camera. It's a raw file, not been processed at all. So let's head over to Photoshop screen here. And so as you know, as you can see, when I brought it in, it's a little bit smaller than what it was. The original photo is a 3:2 aspect ratio. I condensed it down to a 4:5 aspect ratio. With a 4:5 aspect ratio, you're talking like 8 to 10 prints, something like that. Seem to like 4:5, and the reason I like 4:5 is because social media likes 4:5. They don't like 3:2. So I pretty much do a lot in 4:5. So anyway, as you can see, this is what it looks like right here. And I always make a copy. So a copy to edit. I made a copy, just to have one, just in case I mess up. Um, so in there, when I bring it in, it was going to open up in Camera Raw, and I'm going to do some stuff. Now, when you open it up in Camera Raw, the big picture comes in, like the one that you seen earlier, the huge one comes in, and then I'll crop it down. And then what I do from there is, for this photo, I created two masks. I created a background mask, so all this background would be masked, and then I inverted it so only the flower would be masked. And all I did from there was, for the flower, I really didn't do much of anything, honestly. But for the background, as you can see, I'm going to turn that on. Bam, there it is. So with the background, all I did was I increased the exposure a little bit, cranked the contrast up, dropped the highlights to nothing because I wanted it to be a little moody. I mean, it's a boring shot. So let's get it a little moody. Let's just, mess around with it. Let's have fun. So decrease the shadows, increase the whites, drop the blacks, put the color temperature down towards a more bluish, towards what I saw, how I thought it looked from my point of view when I was there, and called it good. So from there, what you do is come in here, and I'm stuttering. Oh, well. And you notice there's a lot of fuzzies in there. So that's one of the first things I did. I went in here and I created a layer and I just removed all that fuzz crap. Obviously not a lot because, I don't want to take away too much. I just want to get it away from the subject. And then I did high pass sharpened, and you might not be able to notice, but it sharpens it a little bit. It's just adding contrast, really, to it. And then from there, I, merged it, opened up Camera Raw again. So let's open up Camera Raw. And from there, I did some more masking, as you can see right here. I created a whole bunch of masks. If we shut them all off, you can see what each mask does. So mask number one right here was just the flower itself. So we turn that on, and you can see when we turn that on, we activate it. The only thing I did with this was I dropped the exposure by 0.8, just like just a little bit, just to get a little bit more oomph in there. Because as you can see, like if I turn it off, see how it's bright when it's off? It's just a little too bright. So I lowered it down a little bit. And then mask two, which is a linear gradient, I dropped that by a stop and a half. See, it's right there. I wanted to pancake it. I just wanted to pancake it. Remove the top, remove the bottom, get the center. That's where my hero shot is. So there's that. And then I did the same thing on the bottom. Bam, there's that. And then it's still a little too, I don't want to say too dark or too light, but still we got like this right here we're competing with, and we're competing with this up here. So I just did another linear gradient just to tone it down a little bit. Just, very subtle, as you can see. And then the top, very, very subtle. Now, this is where it took a little bit of time to do. As you can see right here, you have a little bit of reflection in the water, and I want that to pop a little bit, because that's part of the item. That's part of the flower. So I want that reflection to pop. So I created a mask to make that pop. There's that one, and there's that one. So now it just brought in a little bit more of a reflection. But in doing so, you can see I have some blown out little highlights all around, and that's kind of taken away from it too. So we'll address that later. So then I wanted to do a little bit of vignette. I wanted to tone down these corners a little bit, darken them up. So I did that. There we go. All right. So that's what that is. So that gives us there. So now, like I said, we have this highlight right here we got to deal with. We got some highlights around here we want to deal with. So I just created another layer and just kind of work some magic on there. And there we go. The water lily sandwiched together. Beautiful. The only thing I would have been better, I think, is if I was able to get out there and get like a top-down picture, because inside there is a really beautiful centerpiece, and you can't see it from where I was at. But this will do in a pinch, right? So that's what it looks like. I mean, this is a really light edit, a very light edit. So yeah, see ya.